that you will be hearing more about. We will be reporting back to the board. Thank you.
To the board. Supervisor.
I got a question. The First Five Commission keeps a pretty large amount of money in reserves, and I realize it's for 0 to 5 age, but maybe the transports of some of those children, could that be an issue that First Five could look into, Supervisor Colfax?
The quick and easy answer is probably not.
Well, I see the First Five Commission, they funded traffic studies, so couldn't they fund maybe the transport of children?
I'm not sure that's the case. I think Carmen can probably comment on First Five's discussions with her and some of their expectations and hopes for accessing county funds.
Yeah, well, certainly anything is possible, right?
That's right, anything is possible.
And because it's 0 to 5, it does make it a little murky to get first $5 for emergency medical services. Certainly we can have the discussion around pediatric trauma and pediatric EMS, and I would gladly go ahead and start that conversation with First Five if you'd like.
Because I know there are a percentage of the transports that actually
absolutely there is a percentage that's pediatric.
5-year children and younger, so
yeah.
I just think that'd be a proper use of maybe some of that funding.
Yeah, the numbers are usually smaller with the pediatrics than, of course, with the population. However, it is something that we could look into. Okay, thank you.
Any additional comments? I have a couple comments. I've been pushing for this short-term, long-term fix now for 3 to 4 years. And I want to thank the board for committing this $200,000 for this year. I look forward to the long-term solution and all the possibilities to the point of the regionalization opportunity to have it examined and looked at as an option. But also to the board, I think we have a golden opportunity in having Supervisor Delbar be the sitting second vice president of the California Association of Supervisors, to be able to bring this effort forward to next year being the first vice president, and in 2010 being the state president of the Supervisors Association, to put not only this issue but also rural fire response to the forefront of public safety in the state of California. And I'm going to drop a whole bunch of weight on Michael here that it's time the rural agencies, rural counties start getting their fair share from Sacramento in return. And I'm going to count on Michael to carry this forward, because I'm going to be off into the sunset, and this needs to continue as a priority for this county with budget downturns and Medi-Cal, Medicare reimbursement rates dropping like a rock through the floor. Somebody needs to champion this issue, and I challenge Supervisor Delbar to carry this forward for this county and other counties. So I appreciate the report. I look forward to a continuing improvement of the situation. We can't be status quo. We can't step back, because the entire system will fail. We have to continue to move forward in an aggressive manner to keep these systems in place to take care of our citizens. Supervisor Pinchot.
Yeah. First of all, it's an understatement to thank all of the folks out there, the volunteers, and how many hundreds, maybe probably in the thousands of them that do this. And this $200,000 was a small stipend, but it's probably something that's never, I don't even know if it's done to this degree of taking a county general fund contribution and giving it to the ambulance services. It was well deserved and well needed, and it's one of the good parts of this job up here to be able to do it. But I'd like to challenge this board and the CEO's office at this time, and even though we have are going to have a budget downturn, that's a given. To what degree, probably we're going to find out more in May from the governor's May revised. But I think it's a challenge to this board that it's going to be well over a $200 million budget too. I would hope to think that in a $200 million budget plus, that we can find maybe another $200,000 this next year to do the same of what we did last year. So that will be my goal. I hope we can achieve it.
Appreciate that, John. Supervisor Delbert?
Well, a couple of points, Mr. Chairman. First of all, as Supervisor Pinchot said, this is money that I think well spent an understatement, and our gratitude to all of you that are providing those services out there is also cannot be stated enough. And I'm glad that we were able to do it, and I too will make that commitment of supporting similar allocation this year. And to the chair's challenge in getting this message to Sacramento, I will say that in my conversations with other supervisors from rural counties specifically, but other counties as well, is this is obviously not a problem unique to us, and being able to deliver that message is a commitment I will make right now, and see what we can do to bring the pressure upon Sacramento to address their responsibility in making these service providers whole for the services provided to the state roads. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Supervisor Smith.
Thank you. I believe that our legislative priority, just so the public is aware, that we've made this a top priority dealing with EMS issues and fire issues with respect to our advocate in Sacramento, and our communications with our elected officials in terms of legislation that could give us relief, as well as other rural counties. And I think it absolutely needs to be a high priority. I'm wondering from the executive office if one of the aspects of this short-term, long-term fix that we're looking at is going to include, as we maybe go on to our next topic on with respect to fire, of where we are with the I believe it's Prop 172 funds, and how Mendocino County handles that compared to other rural counties, and maybe our neighbor Sonoma County, who has the wall-to-wall fire district that we had a discussion here about. So I think that we need to look at some of the financial intricacies of resources internally, not just the allocation of general fund dollars, but how has Mendocino County historically handled this issue, and are there other options with looking at the structure of that, and would that provide any information as the short-term fix while we're advocating at the state level for the long-term one? I think that's something we need to look at.
Mr. CEO.
I'm sure that will be part of our discussions, knowing the previous discussions with our fire districts. So that is definitely on the table. I would also like to remind everybody that the county has invested, or will invest by the time we're done, with about $4.5 million into an advanced microwave system that will improve communications capability for all of our agencies. So the county is continuing to support our local emergency services providers.
Thank you. There is no action called for on this. This was a receipt of a report, and I appreciate all the first responders and Carmel for bringing this forward. We do have one more item. We're running 15 minutes behind, but this is a related item in regards to a report to the board on formation of a county work group on fire district support. Item 6E, Director, CEO's office. I'm sorry, I'm just...
Okay, Allison Glass, the Assistant CEO, and I'm going to be very quick. Don't want fire to hold up water. That's the thing. Anyway, this is a companion or parallel issue item to the one that just occurred. There's EMS, there's fire services. In some cases, they're interlinked, and we want to move forward in a similar fashion in both cases with work groups that involve staff and looking at short-term, long-term solutions. So just real quickly, there have been meetings going back a few years between fire chiefs, a number of supervisors, an occasional CEO, and county council, I think, went to a couple of meetings as well. Over that 2 to 3 year span, there have been 3 different CEOs, and previous discussions did not involve staff work and analysis by executive office staff. So what we're doing with the work group is trying to take that to the next level with staff analysis that will actually move us to the point of action. We acknowledge that a great deal of discussion has taken